Welcome to A Taste of AZ podcast. Before we get into today's episode, we want to announce that A Taste of AZ magazine will be switching to a paid subscription starting on January 1st, 2024. Until then, you can visit us at atasteofaz.com/subscribe and name your price for the entire 2024 magazine year. You'll get 4 issues for whatever price you decide, and they will each arrive at the beginning of the quarter. With that said, don't forget to subscribe to our email newsletter, and let's jump into today's episode. Well, hello, A Taste of AZ listeners. We are here today on a beautiful patio. I'll let our guest introduce the spot of where we're at, but if you hear some car noise going by, don't get mad at me because I had to just soak in. It is hot out, but it's not hot on the patio right now because
it's beautiful here right now. These misters help everything. It's
Absolutely.
not that loud over here right now.
No.
We might get hit with a couple of cars that like to think that they are more important than they are.
Well, and it feels separated from it because the way you've structured this patio. But with that said, go ahead and introduce yourself and where we're at.
I'm Scott Hibbler. I'm the owner of the Spot at Arcadia, located at 4801 East Indian School Road. The old Arcadia Tavern, if you know that place. Mm-hmm. We've done a couple rebrands, couple remodels, but here we are today. Nice, comfy patios, beautiful scenery, some Arcadia vibes right here in the heart of Arcadia. You know, I think you and I might even have a cocktail or two in the middle of this. You know,
yeah.
Why not?
You kind of roped me into that one, and I gladly accepted the offer. So
yeah, I'm tough to turn down.
Yeah. Right? Well, so it's funny because kind of living in this area for a long time, I've driven past the tavern several times before. But never stopped in, and that was my mistake because now that I'm here after the rebrand as the Spot, this place is epic, and the patio is nice and large, and as I mentioned before, the misters are firing. So give us the quick little, synopsis of what the Spot is.
Man, so my business partner and I, originally Arcadia Tavern was, when we talked to everybody in the neighborhood, they're always like, man, Arcadia Tavern was the best when it was like family friendly, and they had the kids area in the back, and they could... then the parents could hang out over here and do what they want to do. And so we wanted to embrace that and elevate everything.
Sure.
So what we did was we hired the chef that created the menus at LGO, Hillstone, Bandera, some real high-end fancy places. Yeah. He created our menu. Then we created all of our cocktails. And for the vibe and everything we have in here is supposed to be a family-friendly sports bar with an arcade, a marketplace, and similar to like LGO has. Or Lucy's. Got a little mini marketplace where you can buy some knickknacks for mom, dad, and all that fun stuff. But we got a mini arcade with sit-down Mario Kart games, dartboards. Every single table's got games. So the families can hang out. You should see it in here. Sometimes kids are just running around here and creating madness. I'm sure our staff hates cleaning all that up, but that's not my problem,
Well, it feels like a fun spot as soon as you come up to the door and the little kind of like waiting area that you have. It feels very welcoming.
Good.
And, also, it's something that you don't really notice unless you really think about it, but the way the building is situated and the fact that we're on the north side right now really protects you from the sun. So I'm shocked at how welcoming this patio is, but I'm sure you've invested a lot of time and effort into getting it that way.
Yeah, don't forget money.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the fun stuff, right? Time, effort, money. We had a good vision. We did get this patio over here on the west side built out. But we're on the north patio, so the patio wraps around. We actually have one of the largest patios in Arcadia.
Oh, really?
When you combine the square footage of the whole space. A lot of outdoor seating. That's why we get the mister systems and everything going all day, every day, especially this time of year. But I think it's really comfortable. We tried to make it really relaxed, kind of like a coastal flair, kind of to where you want to come in here. And if you see how beautiful it is in here. Yeah. If you're a woman, you want to come in here and hang out and have a girls' night. But if you're a guy, you're like, man, I just want to throw some flip-flops on and come on over there and have a beer. There's TVs everywhere, so you can't miss it.
It's interesting that you say throw on the flip-flops because I'm heading to the beach over the weekend here, and right now I feel like I've already arrived in like a very comfortable cabana.
Right? You feel like you're just waiting. Where's the ocean, right? That's
Absolutely.
The only thing missing, yeah.
And we have some drinks on the way, too. We'll dig into the cocktail list more expansively, but I got the, which one was it?
You got the mango margarita.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your drink program, I guess. Let's dig into that.
Well, that was a lot of fun to create. You know what I mean? If you like to partake in the alcohol like I do. So the mango margarita, I partnered with Three Amigos Tequila, and they came up with this idea. And I said, you know what? I don't want to have a regular margarita. What can you create? And so they created this fresh mango puree. They come in twice a week and create it for us. It's all on a tap with the CO2.
Okay.
And so it's pre-batched and made just for me. by them. They bring it in, and it's fresh mango. I can't wait for you to try it. Little tahini on the sides.
Oh, I love that.
Yep. Then we did another one that's unique for us, which I didn't order today, but we can get one, is the dirty chai martini. Funny story behind that one is every day my routine is I have 2 daughters, and I take one of them to school, bring the other one with me, take my wife, or I swing by Starbucks on my way home, grab a chai tea for her and a coffee for me, drop them off, switch cars, because of course, if you're married, which I see your ring, so
yes.
your wife and kids get the fancy car. So I switch cars, right? And then and drop off the chai tea. And I was telling the guy who was making all of our cocktails about that, and he's like, I think we can make a martini. I'm like, out of chai? Like, is that a thing? And he's like, I don't know, but let's see if we can figure it out. He made this thing, and he made me one, and I took a sip, and I go, make me 8 of these right now.
Wow.
2-go cup. Let's roll. 9:30 in the morning. I roll back to my house, hand it to my wife, and she's like, "Is there alcohol in this?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's wrong?
I thought they were all 8 for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I was trying to get her drunk.
Yeah, right.
You know what I was hoping for that night. Didn't happen. But anyway, so she took a sip and then decided she wanted another sip. It was that good, and immediately I just looked at her and go, "Yep, it's on the menu tomorrow." So that's a cool little dirty chai martini. We're the only ones in it that I'm aware of that have that right now. I'm sure a lot of people
I love when there's
steal
a
it.
story behind it, because it guides, it makes, like, how could you design a neighborhood spot if you're not kind of putting your own little family neighborhood imprint on it?
You're 100% right. You got to be able to tell the story. Like when I'm walking around to tables and touching and trying to say hi to everyone, and I see somebody with that dirty chai martini, that's the story I tell. If I see them with the mango margarita, I tell them that I'm the only one who has that, from
Sure.
Three Amigos Tequila. It's kind of fun and unique, and you try to embrace it. With my joke around this whole place is as you walk around and look around, like this neon sign, this is all the crap that happens when my wife and I get really drunk.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's buy a neon sign. Sure, let's buy 5. So
I would say that's a pretty fruitful happening when you're both getting drunk. Most people just get drunk and pass out or something like that. But if you guys are coming up with good design,
we like to play games and stuff.
uh-huh.
So that's where the game element was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Every single table inside the restaurant has options to play a million different games. You got Battleship, Yahtzee, dice.
Nice.
It's fun to like look around that, and we had one. There was which I really think this is a stupid idea, but people still love it. My wife and I played at home. I found paper, rock, scissors, dice.
Oh, wow.
Which I found that somebody's buying them, i.e. me.
Yeah.
when you could just use your hands.
Sure.
I don't understand the point of the dice, but people love it because
Yeah.
it's something unique and different. So
Well, and so my parents were actually just in town, and we recently put a dartboard up in the back. And so even just walking by those dartboards, it, like, in me triggers that memory and the other memories I've made with family and friends around dartboards. So I think, everyone says that having drinks and food is the best way to bond with people, and I agree with that generally, but you throw some games into it.
100%. Interaction is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I just did an interview, I don't remember, two weeks ago, I think it was, that actually I think airs today on ABC. But it's about restaurant trends and the idea of the fact that interactive experience is what people are looking for. Whether you're online, Taste of AZ, you want to have that interactive experience and feel like you're a part of something, right?
Sure.
Even if you're just viewing the creative content that you create. But here at a restaurant, how do you make things different? How do you make things unique? How do you make that experience better for everybody? And so for us, the easiest and kind of fit the vibe of what we were trying to do was to let's make sure everyone has a game. So when you get here, you got your drink menu, your cocktail menu, your food menu, and then of course you got your game menu. So you can sit down and with your family and go, you know what? I want to reserve the Mario Kart games for an hour.
And for the parents, it's also awesome to be able to pawn their kids off onto the Mario Kart game.
Yeah,
Mario Kart game.
What's cool about that too is you can see from where we are, it's kind of around the corner. The Mario Kart game is. So I can't take the credit on this. My business partner, who has no kids, by the way, came up with this idea, and it still pisses me off. But you go around the corner, and that's where the Mario Kart game. So if you and I were parents, that would be, well, I guess that's allowed today, right? But anyways, if you and I were parents hanging out right here, and we didn't want to have to get up and go watch our kid, every single TV on this entire property is connected to what I call Kids Cam. And I can
okay.
change every single TV to that security camera.
Oh, wow.
So you can keep an eye on your kid while you're sitting right here and having a drink.
That is very smart.
That's less anxiety as a
That's
parent.
why you keep him around as a business partner, right?
Yeah, that's smart. Can I cuss? I mean, what a smart,
Yes, you can.
What a smart fucker that guy is.
Seriously.
Man. I mean, he drives me nuts, and it made me so mad when he's like, "Hey, dude, I think we should do this." I'm like, "God damn it! How come I didn't come up with that? I got 2 little girls at home."
I've never heard of that anywhere else before, so it makes a lot of sense.
No one else is doing that, and that was a brilliant idea. So
Absolutely.
yes, yeah.
So I want to circle back real quick because
Sure.
the reason I picked the mango margarita is I believe Three Amigos is local, right?
Yes.
Obviously, if being tequila, it's made down in Mexico, but they have local ownership, however you describe it. But also, I love that stuff. So how did that partnership come about, and how did you kind of lead that into having this menu item here?
So one of our vendors, distributors, I should say, was trying to come up with all these different ones, and they brought in a couple of different tequila partners, and Three Amigos had the best kind of pitch to me about, hey, we want to do this, make it unique. We think what you're building here is something cool that nobody else is doing.
Sure.
As you can see, nobody else is doing anything like what we have here. So yeah, that's kind of how we met, and Three Amigos and I came up with. I don't remember, it was 6-7 months ago, and a lot of cocktails since then. But I think it was the second or third drink that they had me try, and I'm like, this is amazing. And they were like, yeah, we can pre-batch this and have it come on in, and we came up with that partnership. So
That's awesome.
It's really cool, and the guys at Three Amigos they're so nice, and had a great time with them. They help us out. We help them out when we can. So they're great.
And I bet it's nice for you guys having it pre-batched like that.
Oh my God, it changes the game. Anything we can do to minimize the effort that a bartender has to do. I mean, now he's just pulling a tap,
Sure.
and the mango and the margarita is pre-made. Now we advise him to shake it up, get a little foamy, makes it look better and stuff. But yeah, it's mostly made not by us. So
There's I won't mention. They're not like a competitor of yours necessarily, very different neighborhood, but there's a pre-batched frozen margarita that it's like my favorite drink lately, especially going into the summer, so I'm excited to try this one. I'm sure it will stand up to that one very well.
Well, we have another pre-batch frozen drink. Ours, I created that. It's the signature cocktail on top there, the Arcadia Monsoon.
Yes.
So that is, which by the way, how funny is that name?
I love it.
Isn't that great? So it is our version of a frozen margarita, but it's got citron. It's more of a citrus drink.
Okay.
And it's a vodka base, not a tequila base.
Okay.
And we serve it in the adult Capri Suns. Have you seen those yet?
I think so. It's like a bag. It's obviously
Yeah.
not like Capri Sun branded, but
No. God,
is it the one that looks kind of like an IV bag?
Yes.
Okay,
Kind of
yes.
weird. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. It totally looks like an IV bag.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the adult IV, right? You drink that and then you go get a real IV afterwards, so you
Yeah.
don't get the hangover.
Have about 6 of those monsoons. I don't think I've ever seen anybody drink 6 because
Yeah.
it's kind of like, you remember that Chambord margarita that you could only have 2 or 3 of
Yeah.
at certain restaurants around that aren't in business anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Where you don't expect, you definitely don't expect it to hit you, and then after 3, you're like, what?
Sure. Yeah.
And we're about to get our cocktail here.
Wonderful. You can bring them on in here.
Yeah, come on, Sal. Oh gosh, he's bringing us a fishbowl too. Look at that.
Jeez.
That's our shareable right
That's
there.
a big boy.
Yeah, we don't do anything small over here at the spot. That's insane. I love it. Mango margarita right there. There's my espresso martini because I need some caffeine.
That's a smart move. Smart move.
What'd you put in the?
It's guava, coconut vodka.
Oh, that's the disco. What do we call that? The disco breeze. That's a new
Disco
drink that we're gonna
breeze?
have coming out. So it's like a coconut based one. So I'm working on. Thank you, Sal. I'm working on doing a brunch party scene in here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna launch June 17th with a DJ and all that stuff. I was
Nice.
toying around not doing that because the family friendly aspect, and then just running numbers with my business partner. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we go.
Sure.
And then the other thing is that we're looking at doing late night.
Okay.
And so we bought a disco ball that I haven't installed yet, and I'm supposed to do that this week. But literally a good disco ball, I'll go in the middle of it. So the idea is when you go to the marketplace, there's a curtain. And the
Okay.
curtain goes just this way, right? So when you're sitting there, or at 9 o'clock when we close down, or when we're shutting it down and getting ready for late night, our social media team and I have came up with this slogan that when we do late night, about a month hopefully, that we'll swipe right for a good time,
okay.
right? You know what I mean? And then the lights will turn off and the disco ball turn on, and then it's let's fucking roll kind of thing, have a party.
There's not much by way of late night in this area, is there?
There's a couple of places over here that do late night, and they're very successful. I think this neighborhood needs a little late night change.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we're going to stay open food wise until midnight, so that's a game changer, you know.
Yeah, because for me, it's like if I'm having a drink, having like just something snack worthy on the side, it makes it a million times better. I love like a late night drink, but
oh yeah, come on, especially when you've had about 3 or 4 of these guys.
Yeah,
you're like,
absolutely.
Hey, what kind of pizzas you got? You know,
absolutely.
So
I'm gonna rearrange these drinks and grab mine here and pull the fishbowl into the scene a little bit more because I think it might be a little bit out. But while I'm doing that, go ahead and walk through here what these drinks are.
Okay, so we have in the disco ball right here. That is our brand new one. That's not even on the menu yet. That's called the Disco Breeze, and that's a coconut-based one. We just are going to launch that here in the next week. You've got the mango margarita. I've got my regular espresso martini, which we have in our menu. It's called First and Final. So you basically can pre-purchase. You can order it individually, or you can pre-purchase 2, one before your dinner and one for after your dinner. And then this is my fishbowl that is something special and unique.
Absolutely is, yes.
That thing is ridiculous. So that is the brunch punch drink that we have. It's got we've got Pop Rocks in it, Swedish fish, little things to make it actually look like a fishbowl.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's kind of hard to miss that thing. It's standing out all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a different shareable than most people want. I'm waiting for one to break because those weren't cheap and they're not easy to get because we had to have them shipped from China.
Oh, wow.
So I'm waiting for one to break, but it hadn't happened yet. So
hey, it's pretty thick glass, so it looks durable to me.
Yeah, I'm just hoping some drunks don't try to toss it around to each other, you know?
Sure. Well, and it's interesting because, you have this giant, I'll call it a fun drink, right? It's more of a playful style drink. But this is a serious margarita here.
Yeah.
Like this is not, it's fun, but it's not super sugary or things that you might expect from something that looks more like this.
Yes, 100% right. So this is what I call a shareable, right? What most people in the industry just shareable drinks that which really have been a challenge to come back in the industry since COVID. Mm-hmm. But now most of that fear is gone, and shareables have become again really, really popular.
Sure.
So that is loaded with sugar. It's got all the stuff that you nailed it 100%. That is something that is going to just taste delightful, and everyone's like, oh, this is great. Let me have a sip too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then when you're like, I am on a date and I want to just taste the flavors of something special, the mango margarita, the espresso martini. You know what I mean? These are your fancy drinks. I have a couple others. We have a CBD one. You have to embrace all that.
Okay.
The CBD drink, it's called Relaxation Combination. Trust me, when you drink it, you don't get that relaxed. The CBD doesn't do what I need it to do, but that helps. That's a very good, refreshing drink. Again, with the vibes that we're doing here, everything I wanted to be very refreshing, light, and airy.
Sure.
So it's more of let's put it this way, signature cocktails are much more, except for that guy and this guy, are much more for the ladies in Arcadia, targeted towards them. But don't get me wrong. We got 16 beers on tap. We have all the fun stuff that the guys like.
Yeah, including some of my favorite local ones, like Church Music and Tower Station are my go-to IPAs.
Amazing what they do. That stuff is amazing.
And like a Four Peaks Wow Wheat. It's not the type of beer that I would typically go for, but anytime I have one of the Wow Wheats, I'm like, this is a great beer, especially come summertime.
Yeah, I'm not a huge beer guy anymore, but I always taste everything that we have, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
We had something else in the menu, non-local, and so there was 2 reasons that I added the Wow Wheat to it. One, the flavors. It's a great summer beer, right? And number 2,
totally, it's
a local. So I try to support as much local stuff as I can. There's definitely some that I'm missing, but I've only, not to say only, like there's 16 beers on tap, right? Mm-hmm. But that limits you because all of the consumers in the world still want their big national brands. Mm-hmm. So I think if I have 4 locals that are on there.
And then you got a little bit more than that. You got the, I think it's 5 actually.
Okay, there you go. I was trying to get as many as I could in there. There's just, and God bless them, they're so good, and their salespeople are great at coming in here all the time. But I'm so limited, you know. I don't want to add,
Sure.
and for a place like this, it's for me to add, you know, 4 more taps. You're probably talking another $10,000-$15,000.
Yeah.
Just not worth it right now, you know. When we're trying to build our brand, build our image, build things the right way, you know.
So tell me a little bit about your background. Did you grow up in Arizona?
I was born here, but I lived grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, y'all. Did 2 years of high school out there. My dad sold his business and said we're going to move back home. So my family was from here. So we moved here. I'm older, but we moved back here and I finished high school out here. So I went to Brophy.
Okay.
And then I went back to University of Tennessee for 3 years and then came back here and finished at ASU.
Nice.
So I tell all my friends I bleed orange and white, but my money goes to maroon and gold. You know?
Okay. So what were you studying when you were in college?
Business management, minor communications.
Okay.
And then I was into multiple businesses before I got into this. How I got into the restaurant business was my business partner and I were at a ASU tailgate for a large group of very big ASU alumni. And he and I had been on a nice little couple-day bender. And I was telling him about the guy who owned Arcadia Tavern who had asked me to help him find a buyer because he wanted to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was chatting it up with him about the whole thing. And then he looks at me and goes, yeah, we should buy that tomorrow. I'm like, oh, what's this we shit, dude? Like, what do you mean? I don't want to get in the restaurant business. And he's like, come to the office on Monday. That was a Saturday, obviously, for ASU game. He said, come to the office on Monday and let's chat and talk numbers. And let me see if you think you can change your mind. So we talked the numbers. I went through the whole thing with him. Sure enough, he changed my mind. And the next day we wrote a check and we owned a bar.
How long ago was this?
Oh, man, 2015 or 16.
Okay,
maybe?
nice.
So, yeah, that was a game-changing experience on that whole thing. But for the better, it was good. Yeah.
So were you, it sounds like you were friends with your business partner before you became business partners.
Correct.
Is that the case? Okay.
Yeah. We both are members of the same country club, played a lot of golf together, and then we're both a part of that organization at the tailgate that we were at for supporting ASU. And yeah, now we're best friends. We chat too much every day. We have multiple entities together,
Nice.
purchasing a lot of other things outside of the restaurant business. And he's my most trusted friend. He's a CPA by trade, so he handles all the money. I don't have to deal with that. He doesn't want to be in front of the cameras and doing podcasts. So he's like, that's your job. Mine is to handle our finances. So that's what we do, and that's how we partner it up. That's why we're a good team. Kind of like the good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
So when you took over the spot, was it kind of plug and play, or did you guys impart more of your vision on the spot?
No, so we took over as Arcadia Tavern. So Arcadia Tavern was an operating
I was
business.
just saying the spot as in
This
Arcadia as
location.
the spot. Yeah, but then I realized, I'm like, oh, I just called it the spot.
I thought, well, hence the name, right?
Yeah,
That's why it's a good play on words. So we bought Arcadia Tavern. That was a great operating business, well established. It was actually the first restaurant bar in Arcadia, the first real restaurant bar, and everybody knows what it was. So Arcadia Tavern was doing great. We bought it. We didn't have to change much of anything, and right, isn't that delicious?
It is. I'm all about the tahini rim too.
Dude, it's so good. So anyway, so we bought it as an operating business. Things were going all right. I wouldn't say great. We always knew it needed a remodel. There were some things that we needed to do, change the flooring, some other things. We wanted to move the bar back, which we did do in the latest remodel. But then this thing that we all know called COVID hit us, and that forced our hand. So we shut down Arcadia Tavern. We ended up partnering with some friends of ours who own and operate 4, soon to be 5 other restaurants and bars here in town.
Okay.
And they came up with a different concept that they put in here and helped us change a lot of the things, get our patio, move the bar, do all that. That concept didn't work. We shut that down last May. Kind of knew that I had a feeling that wasn't going to work because of more of a high-end date night place. But here we are trying to bring back the Arcadia family-friendly sports bar, hang out, relax, listen to some chill music, and watch some games and drink with your friends, you know?
Absolutely. Well, let's get a quick message in, and then we'll jump back into it.
Love it.
We want to announce that A Taste of AZ magazine will be switching to a paid subscription starting on January 1st, 2024. Until then, you can visit us at atasteofaz.com/subscribe and name your price for the entire 2024 magazine year. You'll get 4 issues for whatever price you decide, and they will each arrive at the beginning of the quarter.
When did the spot officially launch?
November of last year.
Okay.
We made the decision to make this change in what we wanted to do in June, literally about 1 year ago today almost, that we went and talked to all of our partners and said, hey, we're going to do this. And the cool thing that my business partner and I did, we self-funded it. So we didn't, we kept all of our partners who helped us in there to do the original remodel from Arcadia Tavern to the other place. And we remodeled this and started it all in July and got it done in late September, and then kind of had to do the training and get everything going. We're still, man, that's an interesting whole thing, that training in the way the world is right now with staffing, it's a whole animal that I didn't expect.
Sure.
But that's part of owning a business. You have to adapt and stick and move, right?
So it's like, so this was your first restaurant endeavor, right?
Correct.
So what is that like going from 2015 to now and dealing with staffing?
Night and day. So originally when we shut down, because of COVID, when we shut it down, my business partner and I didn't want to operate anymore. I'm like, I'm tired of getting a phone call at fucking 10 o'clock at night because the lights don't work. Like, figure it out. Like, I'm busy too, but so that's when we partnered with somebody who has experience and operates all these other ones. Then, after we decided that we could do this on our own again, we decided to come back. I'm like, all right, let's get into this animal again. And I don't know if it's a sense of entitlement. I haven't really pinned the tail on the donkey and exactly what I think is going on in the world. But a lot of people I just don't think care. They come in, they're just like, I'm just getting a paycheck, man, and then I can go get a job across the street. I can get a job over here.
Sure. Instead
of trying to build a career. And for me, that's I don't understand that. I'm sure it's the same for you. It's like when you get into something and you care about it and you're passionate about it, you want to grow it, you're going to put all of your time and effort into it, right? I mean, look at what you've done with Taste of AZ, how you've grown that thing. And it's going to continue to go and grow and grow and grow. And who knows for you? Like, do you go national? Do you do other things?
Yeah.
And that's, as a business owner and stuff, that's what your end game, right? You're trying to be a visionary, ideas, and what's next. So that's what I'm trying to do. It's the problem is that getting the internal stuff, because we have a plan to get 2, 3, 4 of these in the valley very soon, but we haven't been able to do it yet. And the reason is because staffing, a lot of turnover, a lot of change, and you can't create those policies and procedures to where I can hand a book to a new GM at location 2 and go, here you go, go open that. It's not that easy anymore. Staffing is really a challenge, I would say, in this industry that I've noticed, because I've been out of it for 2-3 years and coming back. It's definitely pre-COVID and post is completely different animals as far as staffing is concerned.
Sure. Well, one thing you didn't have difficulty finding talent to implement, at least as far as I understand it, is the food menu. So let's dig into the food menu a little bit. What are some of your more popular items on here?
I mean, the lobster roll, right? So quick funny story on the lobster roll. When I met with the chef who's been on Food Network, and he's a hire by trade. Like I think he's in Wisconsin right now doing a new concept. Anyways, really well-known guy. And he sits down with me for the first time. He's like, all right, so what do you want on the menu? I'm like, I'm thinking of coastal flair, and I want to start with a lobster roll. He's like, cool, what else? And I'm like, lobster roll. He's like, okay, I understand. What else? And I go, I don't know, dude. That's your fucking job, not mine. I go, why don't you start? The amount of money we're paying you, why don't you start with the lobster roll and build it around there? So he went, and it's a perfect fit because he was so good. He's well known in some national chains that you would definitely know if you've ever been to Chicago, Orlando, Nashville. He's done a lot of restaurants in those places. And like the island shrimp tacos, the salmon tacos. So we have all that. But then I told him, I go, well, I have to embrace the men too. So that's when we added the burgers. We have a Southwestern burger, an Arcadia burger, which is what I had for lunch today. It's delicious.
Okay.
Grilled chicken sandwich. And then the most popular item other than the lobster roll is the crispy chicken sandwich, which is just ridiculously good with flavors. And then we bought some pizzas. Decided to put a couple pizza ovens in the back.
Nice.
And that's been that's a bigger success than I thought it would be.
Are they gas-fired, wood-fired?
They are gas fired,
Okay.
and they're it's amazing. 3 minutes and 10 seconds, I think, and
Wow.
a pizza comes out. The dough's all pre-made, really light, fluffy, airy. We'll get you one here in a little bit, but
I welcome that.
yeah, dude, hey, give me some cheese and bread, and I'm a happy
Yeah.
man. Plus a couple cocktails, right?
Absolutely. I might just stay here all day if you don't mind.
Hey, shit, I don't. I'm gonna be here all day. I don't think you want to be a part of the
Nice.
meetings I'm gonna be a part of, though. But yeah, no, it's a fun. Well, that's the idea too. When I talked to some other restaurateurs about what they do, and they were some very well-known ones that you would definitely know, and they came up with certain things that are like chairs. When you sit down at chairs, they're like my non-bar chairs. I want them to be less comfortable than the bar chairs because I want to turn and burn those. Then the bar stools, I want it to be very comfortable. Whereas here, I wanted everyone to sit down here with their families for 4 hours.
Sure.
I don't want you to be an hour and then turn and create a new person. I want that person sitting here having 6 mango margaritas, 4 espresso
Sure.
martinis, 2 of those fish bowls, and ate some pizzas and let the kids run around. And that's what I wanted for this, which is different. Nobody else is doing that, so we'll remain to be seen if it works out as well as I think it will. But
Sure. Well, in an area that's not as walkable as, say, downtown Phoenix, it's nice to be able to go somewhere and get all the things that you need, right? You get food for everyone that, is bar food in general, but you also have salads that look delicious. You have, like the shrimp tacos, which is not something you typically see on bar menus. And then you've also got the fact that you can keep your kids entertained while you can relax with friends in a very spacious, inviting area.
yeah, no, that's what we tried to do. I actually had a restaurateur that was from Chicago who came in town, and he walked in and he's like, Scott, I have never seen anybody mix the male and female in decor better than what you have. I'm like, that is the best compliment I can get.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what my partner and I and my wife had a lot to do with what I call crap, the crap that's hanging all over the place. We would fight about it. She's like, no, you need to buy all this fake grass. I'm like, what? And then I put it up and I'm like, shit, she's right again.
Yeah.
No
matter how long you're with them, you don't want to admit that they're right all the time.
No, because they're always fucking right. Whether or not we can convince them that 1 + 1 = 2, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
We're still wrong. You
Sure.
know, if you're married, so you know.
I do.
It's just easier for us to go, sure, you win.
Well, and I've learned that at this point because when my wife went to school for design actually, so she comes up with all sorts of stuff, and I think at this point it's less about me wanting to be right as not hanging up a whole new batch of pictures and things like that.
Exactly.
But then people come over and they're like, "Oh, it's so beautiful here," and I at least get to say I hung up the pictures, whether I came up with the idea or not, right?
So I can't wait to check out your house because you've got probably more crap than I do.
If I'm not going to use the word crap because I might get in trouble, but we do have quite a bit of things.
Stuff.
Is what I'll say. Yeah, stuff.
Beautiful, amazing,
Yeah.
artistic stuff that we have.
And I'll give it to her. She does a very good job with it. So
Yeah.
and it seems like your wife does as well because
She's not a designer, but she nailed this.
Yeah.
She picked the colors. She picked kind of a lot of the layout was done by my business partner and I. She picked all of the decor you're staring at, like the light fixtures. Yeah, I think she nailed a lot of it. Because again, we were talking about first step was the colors, then creating the what's the vibe, and we wanted what we call coastal, right?
Sure.
That and I think that she nailed it with all this rattan and then mixing in the gold and mixing in what she did in here, like helping us. When you go in the marketplace, you see a lot more of her touch too on the designs and what she has in there and the plants and the entrance and all that stuff. I'm for a woman who doesn't do that for a living, she nailed it in my opinion. So
well, I think
again, that's what happens when we're drunk.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mentioned before, I feel like I could walk to a beach. I think the only thing you're missing is about 100 tons of sand on this back patio here, but then people might start tracking that inside, huh?
Yeah, but I've thought about doing that.
Yeah.
We were going to do a membership thing for the marketplace and the ice cream parlor over there for locals, so that way you could create a membership, just like at the country club, and you could go to your kids could get dropped off here and hang out and play games all day, so mom and dad don't have to and go to work. Not like we're babysitters, but you could. And then they have an account with us for our members. But we talked about doing a membership, which we haven't launched yet, and I'm not sure if we will or not. But we talked about doing a membership and then doing 4 parties just for members only every year. and one of them was a beach party where we'd
okay.
fill the entire place with sand.
Oh my gosh.
Which how crazy would that be, right? But we also talked about doing that in December, just to make it kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then doing in July, which is obviously next year maybe, but in July doing a snow party.
Oh wow.
You know, and put fake snow all in the whole
Yeah.
place, and then it's just a different, unique thing I'm trying to do that nobody else thinks of. You know, right? Everyone else in town's like, well, let's do a trivia night. It sounds so fucking boring to me. Like, I get it, trivia's fun and people like that, and it draws a little bit of a crowd in. How about you throw a cool party, man?
Sure.
Like, that's way more fun to me. But I don't know. I'm an idiot.
No, I think it sounds like an incredible idea. I just pray for whoever has to clean up the 50 tons of sand or all the fake snow
Me
flying
too.
around.
That ain't gonna be me. I can tell you that.
Well, so do you guys do live music or anything else that we've not covered?
Not yet, but I am looking at that, and I think that I think that if I could find the right musician, because again, this atmosphere is very unique. The vibe that we've built in here is very unique and different, and I think that if I can find the right musician that fits this vibe, then I would be all in and having them play. I am looking at DJs because I think that if they're playing the right kind of music, I don't need stuff. I don't need my heart thumping from the bass.
Sure.
The sound system in here is ridiculously loud already. I don't need all that. But I do want it to be fun, happy, and joyful music where you're just relaxed and enjoying life and going,
Sure.
shit, I really wish there was a beach right here, but let's have another drink, you know, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you guys are looking at doing spots in the future, but obviously that's kind of, a ways down the line. Is there anything else that people should know about the spot?
Well, I would love to open a second one here. I'd like to at least sign a lease on one in the next couple months if I can get things going right away. I think that the spot at Arcadia is trying to do something unique and different that nobody else is trying to do in town. If you're interested in trying good food, elevated environment, relaxed atmosphere, where you at the end can get ice cream. We have a half-baked cookie now on the menu. We have all this fun, unique stuff. I have churros over there.
Oh, really?
By the way, all the kids, it's not on that menu, it's just over there. But everybody's like, oh, kids are going to love churros. You know how many kids versus adults eat churros? I bet you 90% of the churros that I sell in this place are all adults.
Really?
Oh,
I think it's
man.
because churros make you feel like you're a kid again.
Oh, man. How many other things make you feel like... Does a fishbowl make you feel like a kid?
I think so. Absolutely.
I would, too.
Dartboards, Mario Kart. Yeah, I love...
The Mario Kart is exactly... That was a discussion with my business partner about exactly what you're talking about. We were trying to figure out some sort of a unique, cool game. So one, I was telling him, I go, hey, next summer there's a Mario movie coming out, so this could be a good one. Number two, it's our generation. Like, I remember playing Mario Kart races and gambling and stuff. I'm not going to give away my age, but like in late high school, college, I was playing Mario Kart Nintendo 64 style and going, hey, let's have drinks and play that game. And again, I knew that kids would love anything animated. So it's an actual sit-down racing one. And I didn't think we were going to pull the trigger on them because those things are not cheap.
Yeah.
And being my business partner who handles all the money, I said, hey, dude, I think this is a great idea. Check it out. His reply was literally, yeah, they'll be there on Thursday.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
okay, we're not going to talk about this? All right, deal. You just spent how much money on ours? Okay.
So I'm curious then, what is the breakdown of people playing the Mario Kart game in terms of kids versus adults?
It depends on the day, time of day. So, again, kids during the day, lunchtime, there's adults playing it all day because the kids are in school.
Sure.
I'm interested to see that. That's going to be an interesting one this summer because of how many kids are going to be home and stuff. But I would say that when there are kids in here, it's mostly kids. But when there aren't many kids in here, which is a lot more often than you think. So if you're wondering, like, I don't want to go hang out at that place because I'm worried about kids being in there, trust me when I say, well, we're in here on school's out now. And there isn't one kid in here.
Yeah.
So a lot of friends of mine come on in here and they're like, I thought it was a kid-friendly place. How come I don't see any kids and the place is packed? I'm like, yeah, because it's still a great environment.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. So, but when we got it, my wife and I came in here and brought in a nice bottle of tequila and sat here and raced and gambled with each other and sat here and drank tequila. Construction was still going on.
Nice.
It was awesome. So.
Yeah, those are kind of like the experiences that you never forget, right? And I think this place sets you up for a lot of those, whether it's some Yahtzee with the family or just enjoying some drinks with a friend or bringing the kids and having them go race on Mario Kart while you get some breathing time on your weekend.
Not just that, but even 100% agree with you, but even your friends, you'd be surprised at how many people are sitting here getting drunk, and you and I are sitting here, let's say if we stuck around all day, and after 3 or 4 more of these, and one of us is like, you want to play some Yahtzee?
Yeah,
and
seriously.
you're like, dude, I would never play Yahtzee anymore. And you sit down at the table, you're like, this is fun as shit. Reminds me of being a kid.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the whole idea.
Well, and especially in a world where, everything is so digital. There's nothing like playing a board game.
Dude.
Or a table game.
Social interaction with your people. That's what we were trying to do. How do we engage people to do something that's unique? What's funny is when we built this place, we considered a locker for putting your phones. Because I wanted the whole place to be interactive.
Huh.
I wanted somebody to be sitting at a table over here playing Battleship, to look at somebody else playing Battleship over here and go B4, yelling at them, call B4, B4. Oh, you're gonna lose, bro. That would be awesome, but hadn't happened yet. I'm waiting for some idiot to call out somebody else on something. But
well, for all the listeners, come into this spot because it is awesome. The coastal vibes are wonderful, especially this time of year, and these misters are keeping us quite cool. Grab a drink, play some Battleship, and enjoy your time here.
appreciate everything, man. Good luck to Taste of AZ. You guys are doing something special and unique.
Appreciate that.
Can't wait to see where you go.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's gonna be amazing, man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers,
Thank you.
buddy. Thank you.